Hello everyone, and welcome back to our FireRed walkthrough. Um, just got home a while ago and starting on this episode. Earlier today, I was just thinking about the episode and how I did a 20-minute episode fully about like one entire route. Actually, I didn't even get to the end of the road if you really think about it. On top of that, it's 5 episodes, and I'm not even to only about halfway to the second gym leader, which with how long this game is with extra content other than the actual gym leaders. Like the in-between stuff you have to do. If you really think about it, it's a little slow, I guess you'd say. So my biggest thing was to try and hurry up as much as possible. Last episode, I went around like every single time I got hurt. I ran all the way back. I would probably still do that just because I want to save up on potions and whatnot. But I might cut out whenever I'm back or something, as long as I'm not really saying anything too prudent. And so with that, hopefully, it'll go a little bit faster video-wise because we watched a 20-minute video and I didn't even get to the end of our route. Like right here would have been the end of the route. But I guess as long as it was enjoyable, and like I said with the last video, it was more about just the somewhat plan I am trying to make, and on top of that, the just like a welcome back type deal. Also, real quick, you can buy a magic card from this guy if you didn't know, like for $500. He'll give you a magic card, which the only benefit to that is you can have a magic card before you normally could get a magic card. You can't catch a Magikarp until, is it the next city, or maybe it's whenever you get to Lieutenant Surge. Yeah, which I find kind of weird. Like you find the good rod first, then you find the super rod, then you find the old rod. And I always kind of wondered why it was in that order. All you can catch with the old rod is maybe you do get the old rod, then the super rod, then the good rod, because you can't get down to the last city where the other rod is. You beat Snorlax. That's where the good rod is, and then the super rod's on the way to that city. I always found that kind of weird how they did that in the game. Anyways, I don't normally do a lot of fishing either way. If I'm gonna catch any Pokemon in the water, I just wait until I get surf, because I generally don't use any Pokemon from the water in my team. So don't worry about it. But I'll go ahead and pick them up in the videos anyways, just to at least show where they're at. And we'll be good. So this place, pretty straightforward. It's a cave. You'll find a lot of Zubats, as you've probably already seen. You can catch Parises and just Geodudes, with the rare occasion of finding a Clefairy near the lower levels, I believe. That the only other thing significant about this cave is it's your first introduction to Team Rocket, which not that hard. They're just a little bit of extra experience for you to take on. And after I beat this guy and the other girl, I'm probably going to switch out to Squirtle for the lead, because most everyone else is going to be using Pokemon that are going to be strong against Pidgey, rock types, and so there's another guy in here I just might not fight right now. He has a Magnemite. That means he knows Thundershock, which is strong against both of my Pokemon. And I don't want to have my Pokemon fainted. So I'm gonna come back and get him after the fact. Like with another Pokemon. And this girl, along with the other girl that I fought like right at the beginning of the episode, I would try to only fight her with Pokemon that have moves like Gust, or I know Squirtle knows Water Gun, Charmeleon would know Ember, things like that. Otherwise, you'll be infatuated by their beauty, and it's a lot more annoying than you think. You could, most of the time with my luck, anyways, I'm able to hit about one or two hits after it. And then I'm just immobilized so much that I don't even get another chance to attack before my Pokemon would faint, so I like switch out to a different Pokemon. Do I have an awakening? So I'm just gonna wait it out to wake up Pidgey. I don't want to run over to the Pokemon Center just to heal sleep. Another good thing, which I know you could still kind of hear in the last episode, not as much clicking. It's not as loud anyways of a keyboard, because I've got a plugged-in keyboard. Also noticed in my last episode, after like the third or fourth time watching it, that there was actually no game sound. I had muted it whenever I was doing the training up to the point where I started the video, and not until I watched it back did I realize it wasn't actually playing. So yeah, there was no music in that one. But I went ahead and, as you can probably already tell, I went ahead and fixed it. Also, started making a thumbnail for the videos, just because I didn't have the ability to back then. Well, I had the ability to, I knew how to make the thumbnail. I just had no software on the computer I was using to record, and so I didn't have the availability to actually make it. Thinking about possibly remaking, use the one that I have right now and put parts 1 through 4 on it. So that way I can go put them over the other videos, just so it will look a little better in the playlist. But other than that, I feel like I should just leave it kind of like how it is, just because it was a recent video, whereas it was actually 2 years ago. So it kind of makes sense that they have no thumbnail other than what YouTube gave me or whatever. And then these, 2 years later, I would know, I have the availability to make the thumbnail now and how to make it for the videos. So yeah, make it looks a little nicer. And through the couple of hours it took me to edit the last video, I found out the best route to go with editing these videos to get them up the fastest. And I didn't see what Pokemon it's sending out. So that is very scary, guys. You should be wary of Rattata. Although I do have to say, early on, whenever Rattata learns Hyper Fang, that is devastating. Whenever you run into a Rattata, you're just like, oh, no big deal, and then it knows Hyper Fang, and it's just so destructive. Especially if it's adamant nature or something, like an attack raising nature, that would be terrible. Oh. Confusion sucks, guys. I also need to start thinking of a team for this run through, so that way I can actually have a team, because I don't feel like I'm going to get that much of a response, like I said in the last video. So I need to actually get a team, because I don't feel like running through this game with just a Pidgey and a Squirtle, which I mean they'll evolve into Pidgeot and Blastoise, but I don't think it can be too late for that. Although I wouldn't have any weaknesses per se. Pidgey would be weak against. Oh, Pidgey's evolving. I wouldn't have any weaknesses like straight out. Like obviously Pidgeot would be weak to what is it, Bruno's rock Pokemon, but then I would have Blastoise to throw in, and then Pidgeot would be strong against his fighting types. Pidgey would be weak against the very first Lady Lorena. Oh, they're both evolving. Double evolution. That hasn't happened in a while for me. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, but Pidgey would be weak against the first one. Blastoise would be neutral damage, I think. Ice to water. Or not very effective. If I kept like a dark move on, on Blastoise or something, I would have strength against the Ghost Lady. Otherwise, it would just be a neutral fight. I would still be able to damage them, and they'd be able to damage me, but just no super effective moves. And on top of that, let's see, Dragon. No specific. Well, except I'm pretty sure his Lance's Dragonairs and whatnot. No, like Thunder or something. So that would be strong against both of these guys. But I would run into a dead stop right after the second gym, because that's an electric gym, which I could technically skip and go somewhere else. But yeah, I would run into a Dendon, because the electric types would just tear my team apart right now if it was just the Squirtle and Pidgeotto. So I'll start thinking of a team. I'm also spacing these out by day instead of like posting multiple daily, like I'm pretty sure I had before. Like my first two parts went up on the same day, and I recorded a lot. Like I kind of bulk recorded and then spread out, which was a bad idea. But like I said, I was just super excited to try to be a YouTuber, and now and a lost dream, I guess. Now I want to be a YouTuber, but not the YouTuber like I wanted to be whenever I was younger. Because whenever I thought of YouTuber, I thought of like the big guy, but in actuality, it's just posting videos to YouTube. So I want to post videos to YouTube, but I also understand that whenever you're a YouTuber, that doesn't bring fame. So I'll post the videos, spread them out daily, like I said. So today's video was actually recorded yesterday or last night, and it was posted technically today, like 1 in the morning or something. And I talked about that in the last video, how I'm going to try to not do that much, just so that way it would be better. So that video was for today, and this video will be for tomorrow, so that way I can edit them overnight but not post them until the next day. And then after I would post the video, then I would record the next one. That's how it would work. And then that would also give me time to know whether or not, because after I post the video for that day, then I could just give an update, add on a little thing at the end of the video or something, saying hey, tomorrow's video isn't gonna be coming out because of this or that or the other. So I think it's kind of a good system. It just dawned on me, I forgot to hit start my timer. I don't know how long this video is. Well, I'll just have it go until I can make it halfway through this place. I feel like it hasn't been that long. I've just walked Start the timer now. We can kind of. I should probably switch over to Squirtle. I pick up an Abra just because I like Abras. It's my favorite Pokemon to have in this game. Even though I have no way to evolve it into an Alakazam, so a lot of people won't pick up an Abra if they can't get into Alakazam. Personally, I like Kadabra just fine. Obviously, his stats would be higher if he could evolve, but I still think he can get the job done. My last playthrough of Pokemon FireRed, my actual copy, I picked up a Dratini, which took forever. If I did do that in here, I would catch that off screen. But if I did do that, that would be pretty fun. I think it's kind of fun to have it. It's just I can't have it until later. But Dragon Pokemon are pretty strong, and that was the first time I'd ever had it in this game, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool experience. A good Pokemon to add and kind of playing around. Having a Dragon type, maybe I'll add an S type that's not Articuno. I don't like using legendaries to beat the game, even though it makes it easier. So I guess we'll kind of see how that goes whenever it gets to Elite Four. But I definitely won't, because you can catch them before. We can catch 2 of them before you beat the last 2 gyms, and then you can catch the 3rd one before the very last gym. And I just don't. I didn't mean to use it. And I just don't like to use them. And the only time I would use them is to fight the Elite Four, just to kind of plow through it. Obviously, Articuno would be a really strong Pokemon to use against Lance. And Zapdos would be a really strong Pokemon to use against the First Lady. I forgot her name. I know it starts with an L. Because a lot of her Pokemon are water ice instead of fully ice. So whenever you throw out your fire type Pokemon, they do, while their moves are still super effective, they don't do as much damage. Also because she has Dugong, which I'm pretty sure has Thick Fat, which makes fire type moves even less effective against it. So while they're super effective, they still don't do a lot of damage, and then they can go ahead and use Surf on you and like Oko your Pokemon. It's just not a good day. And that's usually why I struggle with her after I build my team, because usually when I build my team, I think about all the other possibilities, and I'm like, oh, I have a Pokemon for her, but in actuality, all the Pokemon you can get for her are really kind of like one-sided. Like you could use a Grass type against her, and that would be fine, except she knows Ice type moves, which are super effective against Grass types. You could use a Fire type, which is super effective, but she knows Water type moves, and you can use Electric type, and if you use Zapdos, she knows Ice type moves, which is super effective against the Flying type. So the only like Pokemon you could use against her that didn't actually have like a weakness per se against her Pokemon would be like an Electric type, like Electabuzz or Pikachu. I would say Magnemite, but I'm pretty sure Magnemite is weak to water. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure Steel is weak to water. I might be wrong. But yeah, we can just plan around that. We can just plan around the rest, if anything, and when it comes to it, we can just see me struggle against the very first Elite Four and then try and breeze my way through the rest. I'll do any extra training I need to do off of screen. So that way it's not just like, because it's either going to be off screen or I'm going to record it and then cut it out. So I might as well just like try to do it off screen. So that way I'm not like having to do even more work on the video itself. I'm not going to use like any rare candies to try to like rush my Pokemon to the right level, because that's just not effective, at least until later after they gained all of their little things. Which, if you want to know about like IVs and EVs, you could go like look up a thing about it. I don't want to get too much into it, mainly because it was hard enough for me to understand, so I don't want to try to explain it in the way that I understood it, because then it would just confuse you if you ever try to go look it up on your own. So I would just suggest, if you want to know about that, to go look it up on your own about Pokemon IVs and EVs and training points for defeating Pokemon, and certain Pokemon give you such and such, and yeah, it's just a fun time all around. Where are these tiny mushrooms? Are they only at the end? They might only be at the last exit. Could have just ran from this. I probably should just run from this, but I kind of want to level up. Oh, it's only using Sunspore, huh? Because I'm pretty sure this Paris knows Absorb. I'm pretty sure. So, a bad deal for me there, but I'm really going to need to get another Pokemon soon, though, because my Pokemon are about to level cap out, and probably maybe not. Can I go to my bag, please? Yeah, because I can only train Pokemon up to level 20. Until they said they don't want to listen to me anymore. Until I get the next badge. And Pidgeotto is already at. There's the good old Clefairy. I might catch the Clefairy just so I can have it, because it's a rare Pokemon. I might not use it, but I might just catch it. Oh well, I guess I'm going to try and catch it now. So if I attack it again, it's going to faint. So. Oh, it's always the saddest thing ever whenever it shakes 3 times, but still breaks free. Especially on a legendary, it's like you get the 3 shakes and you're like, oh, it's all over. Finally caught it. And then you have to waste 20 more Pokeballs before you catch it. Oh, come on. Come on. I can't do anything else to it. It will just die. There we go. I just wanted to make me waste a couple Pokeballs. I'll just leave that there for a second. Whoever wants to read it. I don't know how many people are interested in Pokedex entries. Dang. I'm just gonna have Wartortle wake up in battle because I have no awakenings or full heals. And today I'm trying to stick a little bit more to just in-game or about the game commentary. Listening back to the video a couple of times, I was like, obviously I understood why I was saying all those things, because I was the one saying them, so I knew the purpose behind it. But looking at it through like a viewer's perspective, I was like, nobody's gonna want to like listen to my video over somebody else's video, because I'm just like talking about all these other things that were happening to me and stuff like that. Kind of like abstract concepts and everything, and it's like I'm playing Pokemon. I don't know who was gonna want to listen to somebody talking like that over Pokemon game, unless they just find what I'm talking about interesting. Then I guess they would, but I don't know how many people would find it interesting over a Pokemon game when you can go find like silent Pokemon walkthroughs, or maybe somebody you think is a little more intriguing and maybe more knowledgeable. Because like I know a lot about Pokemon, but there are people that know a lot more than me, or they at least retain it better, like all the information. So like they have all these. There's some people that have like all the stat changes that natures do like memorize, so they can just like catch a Pokemon, look at the nature, and be like, oh, that does this and this. And I was like, the only thing I have to remember is adamant nature like uh, raises your attack, so it's good for like physically attacking Pokemon, and then and like lowers your special attack though. But I didn't know that until I looked it up. I was just like, I know it raises your attack every time you level up. Which nature is not just like you're gonna have like it doesn't just raise it all the time. It's what the natures do is every single time you level up, you have your attack is gonna like increase more than your other moves, and then your special attack would raise slower than all your other moves. Speaking of that, I actually got a Squirtle with Adamant Nature the first time I loaded this up to test it, but then the game didn't actually end up saving it, so I had to restart again. So now I got a Sassy Squirtle, or yeah, Sassy Squirtle. But that Adamant Squirtle helped me out in the first battle a lot, just using Tackle against Bulbasaur. Beat it flawlessly the first time. I need to heal after this battle. I might have to heal during the battle. Hopefully not. There we go. Good old critical hits. So watching through my other videos, I saw like how fast I was like, even though I wasn't even going that fast, like how fast I rushed going into that battle with the rival at the very beginning. Like if you're going towards Victory Road, I went in with like a really under-level Pidgey. I think the Pidgey was like level 7 instead of getting him up to level as well as my starter, because as long as your starter and your Pidgey are the same level as his starter and his Pidgey, you can beat him no problem. You might have to use one potion, but not as bad as I did in there. So yeah, I did a lot better whenever I did it off screen to start this one. Also, there's like a speed up button for the ROM, which I don't use it during, but I'll probably use it if I ever do like off-screen training, just so that way I can go faster for me. Also, while I'm on the topic of that, like the speed up and the training, I guess I could technically make like training montages, like record my off-screen training and just like speed it up. Not only while pressing the spacebar because I want it to go fast for me too, but also like speed it up the video so it's like 2 times or whatever, and not really commentate over it, and just have maybe play some music over it or something like that. Um, Again, that would be up to the people that may watch this. Who watches it, then I'm just gonna keep posting the videos and not post any montages. Record them all and then just post them all at the end. Even if nobody's watching, just that way I can be like, hey, I had all of these just in case somebody did want them. And it would just give me something to do. Okay. Oh, the music kind of is messing up there. Okay. Beat the hiker dude. So, let's see. Get down here. Real quick. Run from this. There we go. So I think I don't know. It's been about 20 minutes, if not over 20 minutes. So I feel like I should like try and wrap it up here, but at the same time, I'm like almost out. I think I might just go to the end of the cave. If it's a little longer, then it's a little longer. But that's if I make it all the way through the cave, that it feels like I've made a little more progress. Like I said last video, I made it through like half of one route pretty much. Even though I battled all the trainers on the route besides one, I still feel like I didn't really make any progress, and I was just talking. Um, I guess there's no real way to get away from that, just because of the pace of Pokemon. Whenever you're walking around, especially in like this episode, there's a bunch of random encounters just by walking around, on top of actual battles. It's a little bit slower in the game progress, but I'm still commentating over everything on the live. Ooh, Kate's learning bite. Yes, please. Forget. Withdraw. Tackle, maybe. Just forget tackle. It's stronger than tackle. And it's still gonna be basically the same. The only thing that it wouldn't affect as much as tackle would be like fighting types. And the same thing, and then it would just be super effective against ghost types, whereas tackle would be kind of the same deal all the way around, except it wouldn't be able to affect the ghost types. Like that was a good move. Done it that way, but I feel like maybe having that the ability to increase defense will come in handy at some point. Mm-hmm. Recently, I've been trying to keep at least one move like that around for at least a little while longer than I usually do, because generally, like any stat raising or stat lowering moves for the opposing Pokemon, I usually just like end up getting rid of. Just like do go full damage or whatnot, and then if I find an attacking move that also raises a stat, like or lowers an attack, like Psychic. If you use Psychic, it can lower the enemy's special defense. So that's a pretty good move because it's a strong move, but it can also cause a debuff. So I like those moves, but usually straight up status moves or stat lowering and raising moves, I try to not keep. And actually found if you just keep like one of those around, it can actually be pretty useful. Like having like I have like in my Pokemon FireRed, like I caught that Dratini, I kept Thunderwave on it. It's actually pretty useful to have. It's a lot more useful than what I really gave it credit for, like those kind of moves. For a pretty long time, I kept like Sleep Powder or Poison Powder a Bulbasaur because I picked Bulbasaur on that run through, and then I also have like a Toxic on a Clefable. So yeah, just as long as you have like one of those moves, they can actually be pretty useful. But at the same time, like I said, generally all the time I played Pokemon, I just go ahead and get rid of them. So it's not like you need them to get through the game, but they can certainly make your life easier in certain situations as long as you time it right. Other situations, however, like after you just heal and you're like trying to use that stat move or whatever, and then like you use it, but then you get back down to like the same amount of HP you were at, and then you're kind of just stuck there because you're like, well, now it's only a chance for that thing to work, and then yeah. So if you're in a sticky situation, uh, either consider going for the attacks to do damage, or switching out Pokemon. Because I found it just usually gets you in an even worse situation if you try to heal, use one of those kind of moves that don't do any damage, and then try and rely on its effects the next turn, because with me, I don't have the best of RNG luck in those circumstances, so for me, it usually backfires, and it's like, it doesn't work. So it didn't make the entire ordeal worth it. But sometimes it can pay off, and it's like your Pokemon gets all the experience, and you survive with like 2 HP or something like that. um, so kind of take those moves as you will and kind of incorporate them into whatever your style of Pokemon is. I also like the fact that I keep playing this game like people are going to be watching it and haven't played Pokemon FireRed before, or like they don't know how to play Pokemon. Like anybody who's watching this is probably also a Pokemon fan, or at least knows how to play Pokemon. But I'm just trying to give like tips and whatnot for like people that have never played before. It's like the game came out 14 years ago, so it's not like there's many secrets. That's just because maybe in case somebody is just having a little bit of trouble with the game or whatever, or tips, try to accommodate them too, instead of just playing through the game and not explaining anything and hoping everyone knows what it is. I guess it's just easier to try and explain a little bit more, even though the people watching probably know what it is, than try to do everything and then have the possibility of somebody watch it that doesn't know what it is. As long as you explain it, then you just know everyone's on the same page. Even though it's kind of annoying for the people that already know what to do and have already done it. It's going to be like the majority in the case of this game. Gosh, so many encounters. Should I use a Geodude, guys? He falls into Graveler. Kind of the same as Kadabra, though. He won't be able to evolve into Golem in this game because I can't trade. So I'm gonna beat this guy, get outside the cave, and then end the episode because the timer is already at 20 minutes, and I didn't start it whenever I started the episode, so I already know it's well over 20 minutes here. Oh, poison gas. I just like finish up this battle and stop talking, and then just like double speed the run out just to shorten on time. No. That's a new Pokemon. Also, why didn't I switch out? I should have switched out from the top instead of keeping him in. I don't know if Voltorb even have the ability to know electric type moves that's on besides charge? No, I don't know Voltorb's moveset until like after the second gym, but you have to go to the city of the third gym to get cut before you can catch Voltorb over in the next to the tunnel and everything like that. Please don't poison. I think I only have one antidote. Oh, I poisoned. Oh, I have two antidotes. This is going to be pretty close. So I don't know, in this game, can your Pokemon even recover from poisoning? Because like every single time I've played this game, and I've had a Pokemon at like full health, but I was nowhere near like a Pokemon Center and I hadn't learned Fly yet, they would just like always die. And I'm like, you guys had like 60 health. How did you lose the full 60 health and then not want Kabutox? And like not get cured of your poisoning. I was just out of antidote, so I had no way to heal them. use these. Oh, I have 2 antidotes. But anyway, guys, yeah, so that is basically what is this, rock tunnel? I think that's what the name of it is. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and speed through this.